Morning/afternoon, everyone. It's often said that the key to change lies within us. And there's no better way to illustrate this than through the powerful phrase, man in the mirror. This idea, most famously echoed in Michael Jackson's iconic song, serves as a timeless reminder that in order to improve the world, we must first start with ourselves. In today's speech, I want to reflect on how we as individuals can take responsibility for our own actions, influence positive change, and inspire others by looking inwardly before looking outwardly. Let's dive into 4 key points that can guide us in this journey of self-improvement and transformation. Self-awareness is a crucial aspect of personal growth and transformation. It is easy to get caught up in the noise of daily life and focus on external factors when things go wrong, but real change begins when we stop and reflect on ourselves. When we look into the mirror, it's not just about seeing our reflection, but about facing the truth of who we really are. This requires us to be brutally honest with ourselves. Self-awareness means acknowledging both our strengths and weaknesses. It involves recognizing the patterns in our behavior, understanding the reasons behind our reactions, and noticing the choices we make every day. Taking the time to be self-aware can be uncomfortable because it often means confronting parts of ourselves that we may not like or that we've been avoiding. However, this discomfort is a sign of growth. When we truly understand ourselves, we gain clarity on what we need to improve or change. Self-awareness allows us to identify habits, mindsets, and even toxic relationships that hold us back. Without this critical self-reflection, we can easily fall into the trap of repeating the same mistakes over and over again, expecting different results. Furthermore, self-awareness is a continuous process. It's not something that happens once and then is done. Rather, it's something we must practice regularly. It involves questioning ourselves, challenging our assumptions, and staying open to feedback. By committing to this ongoing journey of self-awareness, we empower ourselves to make intentional, positive changes that align with our values and goals. This process not only helps us become better individuals, but it also lays the foundation for becoming more empathetic and understanding toward others, because we can only understand others deeply when we understand ourselves first. By taking a deep look into the man in the mirror, we start the important journey of transformation, not just for our own well-being, but for the impact we can have on the world around us. Accountability is a powerful force in our journey towards self-improvement. It's one thing to recognize our shortcomings or mistakes, but it's another to take full ownership of them. The man in the mirror doesn't just reflect who we are, it also serves as a reminder that we are responsible for our actions, no matter how big or small. Taking accountability means acknowledging that we, and we alone, are the ones who decide how we react to situations, the choices we make, and the direction our lives take. When we start to own our actions, we stop shifting blame onto others or external circumstances. It's easy to point the finger at others when things go wrong or to make excuses about why we didn't succeed. But the truth is, those excuses can hold us back from growing. Every time we deflect responsibility, we avoid the opportunity to learn and improve. Accountability isn't just about accepting the consequences of our mistakes. It's also about recognizing the role we played in creating or contributing to the situations we find ourselves in. It requires us to be honest, even when it's uncomfortable, and to resist the temptation to justify or rationalize our behavior. Moreover, accountability also means being proactive in making things right. It's not enough to simply admit our mistakes. We must take the necessary steps to correct them. Whether it's apologizing to someone we've hurt, learning from a failure, or making a change in our behavior, true accountability involves taking meaningful actions. toward bettering ourselves. This process often requires humility because it means admitting we don't have all the answers and being open to learning. When we hold ourselves accountable, we gain control over our lives. We stop being passive bystanders to our own stories and become active participants in shaping our future. This not only boosts our sense of self-respect, but also builds trust with others. People are drawn to those who take responsibility for their actions because it signals integrity and maturity. By consistently practicing accountability, we set a standard for others to follow, and we create an environment where personal growth and responsibility are valued. Ultimately, accountability is a cornerstone of personal development. It is through owning our actions, both the successes and the failures, that we grow stronger, wiser, and more capable of creating the change we want to see in ourselves and in the world around us. When we can look into the man in the mirror and say, I am responsible for my journey, we open the door to true empowerment and lasting transformation. Empathy and understanding are essential qualities that enrich our relationships with others and deepen our connection to the world around us. When we look into the mirror, we often focus on our own needs, desires, and struggles. But true growth comes when we extend that same reflective gaze to others. It's easy to become self-centered in today's fast-paced world where everyone is busy focusing on their own problems and aspirations. However, empathy invites us to step outside of our own experiences and understand those of others. It challenges us to acknowledge that we are not the only ones facing difficulties, and that when we cultivate empathy, we start to see the humanity in others, even in moments when we disagree or feel frustrated with them. Instead of rushing to judgment or criticism, we begin to listen more deeply and understand the underlying reasons behind someone's behavior. This shift in perspective allows us to respond with patience, kindness, and open-mindedness rather than defensiveness or anger. Empathy helps us recognize that just like ourselves, others are on their own journeys, trying to navigate through life, often doing the best they can with the resources and experiences they have. Understanding others also means embracing diversity, not just in terms of culture, race, or background, but also in terms of experiences, perspectives, and values. When we seek to understand where others are coming from, we break down barriers of division and foster greater connection and unity. By looking at the man in the mirror, we gain insight into our own biases and limitations. The more we reflect on our own thoughts and beliefs, the more we become aware of how those internal biases can shape how we perceive the world and others. In doing so, we become more capable of challenging those biases and approaching others with an open heart and mind. This kind of empathy extends beyond our immediate circle of friends and family. It's about reaching out to the broader community and recognizing that we are all interconnected. Whether it's showing compassion for someone going through a difficult time, standing up for those who are marginalized, or simply offering a listening ear, empathy strengthens the bonds between us. It helps us create a more understanding and inclusive world where people feel valued and heard. Furthermore, empathy is not just about being kind or sympathetic, it's about actively working to ease someone's burden. It may involve helping others in tangible ways, offering support during tough times, or standing in solidarity with people who are facing injustices. True empathy involves action, not just feeling for someone from a distance. When we recognize our shared humanity through empathy, we realize that our individual actions can have a profound impact on others' lives. By looking into the mirror and seeing our own capacity for compassion, we can channel that understanding into meaningful action that brings about positive change for both ourselves and the world. In conclusion, empathy and understanding are vital components of self-reflection and personal growth. They challenge us to broaden our perspectives, question our assumptions, and treat others with the same kindness and respect. that we hope to receive in return. The more we practice empathy, the more we contribute to a world where everyone feels supported, seen, and valued. And it all starts with the man in the mirror, recognizing that our actions, thoughts, and attitudes can either build walls or tear them down. By choosing to be empathetic, we make the choice to build bridges. Leading by example is one of the most powerful ways we can inspire change, not just in ourselves, but in the people around us. It's easy to talk about what we want to see in the world, be it kindness, integrity, or responsibility, but true leadership comes when we live those values day in and day out. The man in the mirror is a constant reminder that before we can ask others to change or improve, we must first model the behavior we wish to see. By living with authenticity and purpose, we become living examples of the very principles we preach. Often we underestimate the influence our actions have on others. We may think that we need a title or a position of authority to make an impact, but in reality, leadership is not defined by a role. It's defined by the way we carry ourselves, the way we respond to challenges, treat others with respect, and demonstrate resilience in the face of adversity speaks volumes. Our daily interactions, no matter how small they may seem, have a ripple effect. When we choose to act with integrity, show empathy, or remain calm under pressure, we set a standard for those around us. People are naturally drawn to those who lead with authenticity because they can see that it's not just about words, but about consistent, purposeful action. Moreover, leading by example is a process of personal accountability. It means that we hold ourselves to the same standards we expect from others, and we don't shy away from showing vulnerability when we fall short. Leadership isn't about being perfect. It's about showing others that growth is a continuous process and that making mistakes is part of learning. When we make our own mistakes and take responsibility for them, we teach others that it's okay to be imperfect and that owning our flaws is a sign of strength, not weakness. In doing so, we encourage an environment where others feel safe to be themselves, to learn, and to grow without fear of judgment. Furthermore, the impact of leading by example extends far beyond our immediate circles. By living in a way that reflects our values, we create a ripple effect that can inspire those we interact with on a deeper level. A single act of kindness, honesty, or courage can inspire someone else to act in kind, creating a cycle of positivity and mutual respect. In a world that often feels divided, these small, consistent actions of leadership can be a unifying force, showing others that change is not only possible, but already happening. Every day we have the opportunity to be that spark, igniting something larger than ourselves. True leadership also involves inspiring others to find their own path to greatness. By setting an example, we encourage others to develop their own strengths, pursue their passions, and contribute to the greater good. Leadership is about empowering others to lead themselves, and this can only be achieved when we model the values and behaviors we want to instill in them. When people see someone living with purpose, humility, and determination, they are more likely to embrace those same qualities within themselves. Leadership in this sense becomes a collaborative journey where we lift each other up and help one another realize our collective potential. Leading by example is perhaps one of the most profound ways to influence the world around us. It starts with us, the man in the mirror, and the choices we make every day. Our actions, no matter how small, have the power to inspire change, uplift others, and create a world that reflects the values we hold dear. By living with integrity, showing empathy, and remaining accountable to ourselves and others, we not only improve our own lives, but also set the stage for others to do the same. The greatest form of leadership is not telling others what to do, but showing them the way through our own example. In conclusion, the phrase, Man in the Mirror is not just a call to action, but a deep reminder that meaningful change begins within. If we desire to see a better world, we must first look at ourselves. Self-awareness, accountability, empathy, and leading by example are all interconnected elements that enable us to become the best version of ourselves, while simultaneously inspiring and uplifting those around us. By embracing these qualities, we not only transform our own lives, but we also create a positive ripple effect that can shape the world in profound ways. Remember, the man in the mirror holds the power to change the world, one small intentional act at a time. So let us all commit to looking inward, taking responsibility for our actions, and leading with purpose, knowing that the journey of transformation starts with the reflection, staring back at us